Hello and welcome to the Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce Cable TV show. My name is Joe Ficarro. I'm a past president of the Chamber and currently the executive director and happily the show host. As is usual, if you want to get in touch with any of our guests or any of our Chamber members, please contact the Chamber office at 708-532-5700 or you can go to our website, tinleychamber.org. And we're happy to have with us as our first guest, representing Together We Cope, Patty Houlihan, who is the communications manager. Welcome, Patty.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Yeah, you're welcome. Patty and I go back a little bit in the newspaper realm, but I'll let Patty talk about that if she chooses to do so.
Sure. I have been in Tinley Park since about 1993 when I was a reporter for the Star newspaper, which a lot of people still remember fondly. It was eventually paired with the Daily Southtown, and then eventually the Southtown took over. But a lot of people liked the Star for a very long time. Now I'm the communications manager at Together We Cope. And that means that I get to tell the story about all the good work that we do. And one thing that people don't always know is that although we are based in Tinley Park, we're a prevention agency and we serve 27 South suburban communities. We actually reach a broad population, and the service area is 4 townships: Worth, Palos, Orland, and Bremen. And the service area is roughly 87th Street on the north to 183rd on the south, and a lot of communities west of I-57. We've been in business for about 30 years, and we help families in temporary crisis in a number of different ways. We help with rent and mortgage assistance. We have a food pantry that feeds 5,000 people a month, and we have a resale store where our clients can find maybe a shirt they need to go to a job interview, or the community can come out and shop as well. We've got great new things every single day.
Well, that covers everything. Thank you, Patty. No. Actually, you did. That was like the broad brushstroke covering many facets of Together We Cope. But we know that there are some specific things that you do want to talk about, and let's leave as much time for that as possible. And so we don't get to the end and then forget to do it, why don't you tell our viewers how they can get in touch with Together We Cope in a number of ways, whether it be, well, I don't know about email so much, but the web page and the phone number, and then we can repeat that at the end if we have time. Okay,
thanks, Joe. The website is www.togetherwecope.org, and our phone number is 708-633-5040. And if you call, we have live people answering the phone, and so it may take a minute for it to be answered, but we'll be happy to take your call, and we're really looking forward to getting your support. There is a button on the website that says Donate Now, and we are happy to take online payments as well as having people send checks if they're more comfortable doing that. So there are lots of different ways for people to contact us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, and I'm sure you will after this show.
Great.
So now we are approaching winter. We hate to think of that, but you know, October is still nice.
Yes.
But it could be questionable. So it's the beginning of, is it the beginning of the winter coat drive?
It is, Joe. In fact, it's the beginning of a couple of different programs that are really important for us, and they're also really popular. A lot of people like to get involved, and a lot of people really feel like they want to help their neighbor during the holiday season, and we have a handful of different ways that people can get involved. Probably the one thing that most people think of is a food drive, and we have lots and lots of churches and community groups like Scouts and businesses and individuals and schools that say, oh, we'd really like to have a food drive. What should we do with the food? And fortunately, a lot of people think of Together We Cope. At the holidays, starting November 1st, people who come to the pantry will get food for Thanksgiving, and starting December 1st, they get food for Christmas dinner. And so what we're really looking for right now are items that specifically help round out a holiday meal, including, for those who are ready with a pencil, canned green beans, cream of mushroom soup, cranberry sauce, small cans of sweet potatoes, 1 pound box of mashed potatoes mixed, small boxes of stuffing, packets of gravy, and no glass containers. The one thing that people do like to do is, when they're feeling really generous, is they'll buy the really big containers because they think, well, this is great because I'm feeding more people. But what happens is we get a lot of families, and the more individual or smaller family size containers we get, the more people we can help. So instead of a really big container of sweet potatoes, it helps if we get a couple of smaller containers, because that way we can spread it out and serve more families. And so that's one of the things that we like. A lot of stuff does come in glass jars. We do handle it, but we're always worried about things breaking, and so it's a lot easier for us if you can choose canned or something in a box or something in an envelope.
Sure, eliminates that hazard of broken glass.
Right,
Yeah.
right, which is tough on the pantry because we handle a lot of food at this time of year, but it's also tough on the clients, and we like to make things as easy and pleasant
Sure.
for them as we can.
I can. We've all experienced that tragedy in the
That's
kitchen
right.
or whatever. And if you're dealing with children, especially, you want to avoid that. That's a very good idea. Now, I'm not sure if everybody had their pen out.
Shall I say the list again?
If you just zip through it this time.
Green beans, cream of mushroom soup, cranberry sauce, sweet potatoes, boxed mashed potatoes, small boxes of stuffing, packets of gravy.
That'll do it.
That should do.
It
Sounds
should.
like a good meal to me.
And any contribution is helpful. We know that.
Absolutely.
Along with, will you get hams and turkeys and what have you?
We do. We have some companies that are partnering with us and donate them. And actually, I asked our pantry manager if he would like lots of donations of turkeys. And he said, well, it would be great, but the problem is we don't have a place to store them. And so if somebody rolled in with a big semi full of frozen turkeys, it would be wonderful, but also difficult because we really, unfortunately, we just don't have the storage space that we'd like to have.
Well, unless they left the freezer unit with it.
That would be fine, too.
Yeah.
If somebody's got one to donate, 708-633-5040.
708-633-5040. And that's for other information as well. We have a couple of minutes left in this segment. It does go by fast, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the Santa's Workshop?
Santa's-
Adopt a child.
Yes,
isn't
well, one thing that many people don't know is that the North Pole is located in Tinley Park, and we have an Adopt a Child program. We look for monetary donations of $30 because that enables us to provide two $15 gifts for children. So the money is helpful because our volunteer elves go shopping, and they stock the shelves with exactly the sorts of things that kids are looking for. We also are really happy to get donated toys and pajamas, but the thing that we really always need are items for teenagers because, again, at the holiday, a lot of times people are thinking about ways they can help little kids, and everybody likes to buy toys at Christmas, but, you know, there's lots of teenagers who also will be looking for something under the tree, and so we're always happy to get things like earbuds and sleep pants, and we have those lists on our website, so you can download it and print it out and take it to the store and pick up some things and drop those off for us as well.
And gift cards can be turned into just about anything.
Absolutely, and we
Yeah.
have a list of places that we like to get the gift cards from as well, so we make this as easy for people as possible.
Patty, we have maybe a little over 30 seconds left in this segment. Is there something you'd like to say as a parting gesture?
I would like to say we really need winter coats. This is a tiny coat. We have very, very big need. Anybody who can drop off a winter coat at our location would be very helpful, but also we're happy to take your donations for that, maybe a $25 donation. That way we can make sure that everybody in the south suburbs is warm this winter, and we appreciate the help.
Thank you, Patty. Thanks for being here. Well, you've heard it. If you need more information, go to their website at togetherwecope.org or call 708-633-5040. Patty, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us, Joe.
Our next guest is someone, a familiar face to many people, a friend of ours, a member of the Tinley Chamber Board of Directors, and representative, the area sales manager for Service King Collision Repair Centers. Phil, welcome back to our show.
Thank you, Joe. It's always good to see you outside of chamber business, I guess.
Yes, well, this is
chamber business.
sort of,
All
but this is less
Anyway.
the technical business.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
And I'm going to let you tell
start?
maybe tell us a
Okay.
little bit about your background
Well-
and how it is you've gotten into or continue with representing collision repair.
Well, let me just talk about Riverdale Body Shop to start out.
Okay.
As you know, I worked for them for several years. A great family organization, great company. They were in business for 45 years. Started in a small two-bay garage in Riverdale.
Wow.
Grew from there, and their claim to fame was customer service and top quality, no exceptions. I was very happy with that family, as all the employees were. We were acquired by Service King Collision Repair Centers on August the 17th of this year. A company that started in 1976 in a two-bay garage in Dallas, Texas, a tin building, not even air conditioned, and there was a hand-painted sign on the wall that said Service King.
Wow.
So the founder used that name, and we grew from there. They now have 252 centers in 23 states, and their claim to fame is quality and customer service are non-negotiable. Both companies insisted on hiring good people, getting out of their way, letting them do their jobs. One was family run, now one is corporate. They both insist on the same thing. So they've offered all the Riverdale employees positions. Everybody's hired. And one of the things Riverdale liked to say was that they had their first employee that was still with them at the end, 45 years.
That's amazing.
Now Service King has 2 employees in their employ that have been around longer than they have.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And they're happy about it.
Good for them.
And they're happy about it.
They both started out as family
That's
run
correct.
operations. You say one is corporate now. I mean, Service King is corporate, but made up of many families.
That's correct.
That are a part of the operation.
Yes.
Very good.
So,
Is there anything you want to say about the technology?
well, certainly they are on par with Riverdale, and we keep the training is constant in our business. Okay, and they insist on top quality. The thing that they have is the utmost in standard operating procedures,
Best practices?
best practices. They just have a handle on everything. I have a report that I used to study from Riverdale. It was called Work in Process. This report told me how much business was in each shop in working process. I had the same thing with Service King, only this report changes every 300 seconds.
Every 300 seconds.
So if a car is delivered, it's going to change the numbers. If a car is taken in, it's going to change the numbers. So they have an exact science on their business. It's incredible.
Wow, it
But
is.
But once you get used to it, it makes sense.
So I mentioned the technology. You and I have spoken before about Riverdale Body Shop and how it uses the latest technology for the use with the aluminum
That's correct.
body, so on and so forth. And I would think that the progressiveness of Riverdale, that was one of the attractions for Service King.
That is correct.
To make that purchase or combine the two strengths.
That is correct. And I was by the Duvan Drive shop this afternoon, and the aluminum center is just packed. Just packed. So
Well, that says something, right.
it's doing very well. Company's very happy. I'm very happy with the acquisition.
Now, we can give, let's say, the towns that some of the centers are located in if you want to. There are many more towns than there were before.
Yes.
I realize.
In the Chicagoland area, there's 20 locations now.
Wow.
So don't ask me after 2 weeks what they all are.
I'm not going to.
know,
You said
they have 20.
23 states,
Yes.
so that's almost half of the United States.
And they're growing.
Yeah, that's great.
But they only take good operations. And that's why we feel the partnership here is made for each other. So it's worked out very well.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
All right, so Is there anything else that you feel you want to talk about, or with respect to Service King? I know it's still new to all of us.
That's correct.
It's been kind of like a soft opening and merging
That's
of
correct.
the two companies.
Partnership.
I'm sure we'll learn more and more as the weeks and months progress. But we have some Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce things that are actually taking place this month. All right?
Yes.
One in particular is one of our newest events. And what's that called?
Rocktoberfest.
Rocktoberfest.
The inaugural Rocktoberfest.
Now, we've all heard of Oktoberfest. They're all over the place. And there may be some Rocktoberfest throughout the country because it's a catchy name. But there's only one Tinley Park Rocktoberfest.
That's
or
correct.
Tinley Chamber Rocktoberfest.
Just like there was only one Tinley Park Brew and Vine.
That's right.
On only one Tinley Park golf outing.
Right. So October is our Rocktoberfest. Next April 9th, 2016 will be our Brew and Vine Fest. But let's talk about Rocktoberfest.
Okay.
We're pretty excited about this.
Yes, we are.
And I think we recognize the excitement in talking with people in the community. I don't know. I'm not going to steal your thunder. I mean, we could say, hey, it's going to have beer.
We could say that.
Yeah. It's going to have food.
We could say that.
Frivolity. No, it'll have frivolity. But beer, food, music.
Music, bands,
Now,
beer,
what
food,
we've
bands.
heard is the entertainment is supposed to be just outstanding.
Yes.
We have a couple of minutes left in this segment, so
Okay.
There's going to be 5 bands over a period of 3 days.
3 days. October 16, 17, and 18.
It's a Friday,
Saturday, and Sunday.
And God, it's going to be a double tented event, right?
That's correct.
On 176th and
Oak
Oak Park Avenue.
That's correct.
If the weather is a little inclement, we're prepared for that.
Yes. These tents will have sides that will be
But
able
our
to come
prayers
down.
have been answered for many of our events.
Yes.
We're expecting that it will be as well for this one. This is a 21-year and older event as well because there's alcohol
Adult
being
beverages.
served. Tenant event. Bettenhausen Automotive is helping us
One of the sponsors.
with this.
That's correct.
Yes. So put that on your calendars. Oktoberfest, it's going to be a blast. If you've got children, get a babysitter. If you don't have children, you don't need a babysitter. Just be there.
Let's talk about the bag crawl.
Well,
How much fun was that?
Really, almost 100.
Almost 100 people
people.
walking down Oak Park Avenue in bold yellow T-shirts.
Well, now that was back. That was the last Sunday in August. August 30th.
You know, tossing some bags, having a little adult beverage, and
Bean bags, that is.
Bean
all right?
bags.
Right.
And,
okay.
you know, almost 100 people. That was a lot of fun.
That was. Well, Phil, we have about 20 seconds left. Parting message?
The chamber's doing very well. I'm glad that, you know, I'm still on the board of my second term. Service King is doing very well, and
Great.
we appreciate the job you're doing.
You want any other information, contact the Chamber office at 708-532-5700 or go to our website, tinleychamber.org. Phil, thank you for once again.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Our next guest is also a Chamber member, as they all are, from Love Inc. of Tinley Park. We have with us Kim Sullivan, who is the Executive Director. Kim, welcome to our show.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Now, this is your first guest appearance.
It is.
And I know periodically we're going to have you back just to update people on what's
great.
going on at Love Inc. But people might say, well, Love Inc. doesn't stand for Incorporated.
No, it does not.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Actually, Love Inc. stands for Love in the Name of Christ, because what Love Inc. is a partnership of churches from a certain community. In this case, it's from Tinley Park, Orland Park, and Orland Hills. That's our area. And what we want to do is to reach out to our community with the love of Christ in practical ways. So that's what the Inc. stands for, is in the name of Christ.
Yes, action speaks louder than words. So that's what
Absolutely.
you're reaching out, and so does love.
Absolutely.
Well, tell us a little bit about Love Inc. International.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that Love Inc. is actually quite a large organization. It is new to a lot of areas in Illinois and definitely new to Tinley Park. But back in the late 70s, a gentleman had an idea. He said, what would happen if churches focused on what they agree upon rather than what they may disagree upon? And he also thought, who is maybe one of the largest volunteer groups that's just not tapped into, but has all kinds of abilities and things that they can do for people, especially those who are in need. And so he got the idea of having this kind of partnership of churches that would reach out to the community and share the love of Christ in a practical way.
Great.
Yeah.
We're glad that Love Inc. has grown here in Tinley Park. So it is multi-denominational.
Correct. In fact, in order to have a Love Inc., you have to have at least 6 denominations before you even begin that are signed up. So I think we have 8 or 9 now in our particular
There are
affiliates.
that many?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I know there are
Yes,
a lot of
there's
different
so, my goodness.
denominations.
Yeah.
Yes. All the major ones.
Yes.
Right. All right. Well, all right. So that's Love Inc. International. So international means it's all over the world then.
Yes, we have recently grown to Kenya as well.
Okay.
So that's the only outside country right now, but we're hoping to continue to expand.
All right. Now, since we're here in Tinley Park, let's tell us more about Love Inc. of Tinley Park.
Absolutely. We're only 3 years old, so we're kind of new. And Faith Christian Reformed Church in Tinley Park has a wonderful lady named Jan Vanderlaan, and she is our board president, and she's what we call the vision bearer. She's the person who brought Love Inc. to this area, and we're so grateful to her for doing that. Because one of the other things, Love Inc. goes so much beyond helping people who are in need, but it also exhibits to the community a unity and a purpose of churches and of Christianity beyond the church walls, and also just beyond the denominational differences, as I mentioned before. So not only are you reaching out to the community, you're mobilizing the church, giving them volunteer opportunities, and you're speaking loudly to the community that, hey, we can work together for a common cause. And that's what Jan did. She brought us together, and we've been open now for 3 years.
So what are some of the different facets of Love Inc.?
I'm glad you asked. Actually, we are a volunteer organization. We have over 65 volunteers.
Yeah, that I was going to ask you, how many volunteers?
We have 65 volunteers. It's only myself and one other employee. But we have 65 volunteers from 11 churches. We're growing, have 2 more that are coming on soon. But what we do is we just give them we train them different ways that they can reach out to the community. We have a clearinghouse so that churches can know that when they are supporting Love Inc. and when they're supporting the people that Love Inc. helps, that they're not going from church to church to church to get the same electric bill paid, because that would happen sometimes. People who were in need would go to the Catholic Church and get August's electric bill paid, and then they would go over to the Baptist church knowing that these churches wouldn't communicate with one another and get the same bill paid 5 or 6 times. So we're also able to give churches the peace of mind of knowing that they are being good stewards over the money that they have set aside for the community. And so that's a big thing that we do. We have a clearinghouse. Everything that we do goes through that clearinghouse so that we can verify need and that we can ensure to the churches that it's legitimate needs. But another thing that we do is we fill in gaps. We find out from other organizations what might be missing. One of our most popular gaps is a personal care pantry. And actually, after talking to Together We Cope, I know they were on earlier, we found that not all food pantries regularly get personal care items. And so we asked them, would it be helpful to you if we opened a personal care pantry? And they said, absolutely. So once a month, one of our churches hosts a personal care pantry. So we call those gap ministries, and we have 4 of those right now in the area, and each of them are hosted by a different church. Those churches also provide volunteers, and what's cool is that it's also getting people who may not have been in a church for some time into a church for something and introducing them to people who are glad to see them and want to build relationship with them. So.
Now, I know that Together We Cope, they're having their winter coat drive, and you said, well, maybe I won't say anything about our coat drive. You know what? There's a lot of generous people out there. So we
That's true.
do know here, October, it's starting to get chilly, and we're going to get those freezing weather. So you also will accept
Absolutely.
coats
We have,
as well.
we
All
have
right,
coats. We have a Beds and Blessings, which is bedding. We only purchase brand new mattresses. We don't take used mattresses at all because of bed bugs. But we do have sheets and towels, and we take small household items, and you know, a lot of different things that would set up for the home. We take those kinds of donations, and of course, always monetary donations are always welcome.
And I sometimes, well, we don't want to wait too long, so
Right.
people know how they can get in touch with Love Inc. We have a couple of minutes left, so let's give them the phone number.
Sure. Sure. Our phone number is 708-444-2013. Our website is loveinktp.org, TP for Tinley Park, and there is a Donate Now button on there as well. And one of the most exciting things I would really like to say before we close out that we're doing is we're partnering with Calvary Church out in Orland Park, and we're starting a class called Jobs for Life. And this whole program is wonderful in that it teaches people how to obtain a job, how to grow in a job if they already have one, how to get a resume, and how to write a resume, how to go through the interview process. So it really encourages people who are job seeking. And so that's something that we're really excited about. And it's a component about Love Inc. that makes us different than maybe some other services in the area. We're looking for long-term relationship and how to give a hand up and not just a handout.
All right, we have a little over 30 seconds.
Okay.
Viewers can get involved by contacting the Love Inc. directly or going to their website and getting more information. Briefly, a vision for the future?
Vision for the future. I think the vision for the future would be best stated by our mission statement, which is to mobilize the local church to transform lives and communities in the name of Christ. So whether you are someone in need, whether you're a church that's looking for ways to reach out, whether you are a volunteer or somebody who loves to donate, either time, goods, or finances, we have a place for you where we can work together and really impact our community.
Kim, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You heard the appeal. You heard the phone numbers. Contact the chamber office if you need further information.